Just as Daenerys foresaw the end of Valyria, Aegon foresaw the end of the world of men. When this great winter comes, Rhaenyra, all of Westeros must stand against it. And if the world of men is to survive, a Targaryen must be seated on the Iron Throne.
Have you ever wondered how the children of the forest learned magic? Have you ever wondered why the first men moved to Westeros? Or why there are so many similarities between the Starks and the Targaryens? I finally found the answer to all of these questions. And I also have a huge announcement, so stay tuned for that. Greetings lords and ladies. Before we discuss these questions, I want to announce that from this day forward, Ultimate Book Maniacs will be turned into Westerosi Network. What do you think about the new channel name? Which one do you like more? Anyways, so recently, I started reading The Word of Ice and Fire. And just like when I reread A Song of Ice and Fire, these little dots started connecting in my mind. The last time I connected these thoughts, it gave birth to some of my most loved theories, like the Stark blood theory, Harrenhal's curse theory, and why Targaryens intermarry, etc. theories. This time is no different. While reading the book, not only did I find a missing link that connects all the events that have happened in the known world, but I also found more evidence that my Stark blood and Harrenhal's curse theories, etc. are true. If you don't know what those theories are, I'll give you a short overview. In my Stark blood theory, I discussed how the first men never had any magical powers in the first place. In the beginning, only the children of the forest had wargs and greenseers among them. I also discussed how the first men, or the Winter Kings, had to reproduce with the children of the forest so that the next generation of humans can have magical powers like the power of warging into animals or the power of green sight, etc. I also mentioned two other bloodlines who might have had the same powers. In my Harrenhal's curse theory, I discussed how the curse went all the way back to the Andals and how the children of the forest didn't just put a curse on Harrenhal, but they also put a curse on all the land surrounding the God's Eye. They did it to protect something that they had been guarding since the Andals' invasion in the Isle of Faces. I also discussed how the children had to put a similar curse on Winterfell in my Why There Must Always Be a Stark in Winterfell video. If you are new to my channel and haven't watched my old Crazy Theory videos, don't worry, I'll post the link to that at the end or in the comments below. The only two people who had been able to visit the Isle of Faces since the Andals' invasion had been Howland Reed and Sir Adam Velaryon, who we will get to meet in House of the Dragon Season 2. I've already discussed my theory on why Howland Reed was able to reach the Isle of Faces in my Howland Reed's role in Jon's birth video. I believe if Howland Reed hadn't gone to the tourney of Harrenhal, Jon, aka Azor Ahai Reborn, wouldn't have been born. That's how important his visit to the Isle of Faces was. What I haven't figured out yet is why Sir Adam Velaryon was allowed to reach the Isle of Faces to seek counsel from the Green Men. Did he also get some instructions from the children, just like Howland Reed did? The only thing I can think of is that they allowed him to seek them out in order to make sure that the right line survives, so Dany, aka the prince, or rather the princess that was promised, can be born. But I guess we will find that out in House of the Dragon Season 3, assuming he really went to the Isle of Faces. And in my Why Targaryens Intermarry theory video, I discussed how the Valyrians used blood magic to bond with their dragons. This bond allows a dragon to not only feel what his rider is feeling, but it also allows him to sense exactly where his rider is. It's kind of like they share a soul with their dragons. That's why the Greens and the Blacks dragons always used to snap at each other whenever they crossed paths in the past, because they could sense their rider's animosity and couldn't help but react to it. A dragon is basically his rider's soulmate. So the stronger the magic in their blood is, the more control they will have on their dragons. And that is why the Valyrians used to intermarry, to keep their bloodline pure, so that they can maintain their monopoly on dragons. No one with 0% Valyrian blood can ever control a dragon. Anyway, as I was saying, I found a link that connects everything. Because of this link, I now have dozens of new theories buzzing around in my head, like how the children got their powers, or how the Winter Kings were able to hold their own against the Andals, despite the fact that they only had weapons of bronze, whereas the Andals had weapons of iron, or how the Valyrians might have been created for a reason, or what caused the doom, or why the Starks and Valyrians have similar magical powers, etc. In just one chapter of The World of Ice and Fire, not only did I find more evidence that my old theories can really come true, I also figured out a big mystery, the mystery of Ice and Fire. I can finally understand why Rhaegar went after Lyanna and why he thought their child will become the prince that was promised.
From my blood come the prince that was promised, and his will be the song of ice and fire.
And it's not because R'hllor told Melisandre that Jon is Azor Ahai. Neither is it because Jon had dreams of wielding Lightbringer while fighting the dead on the wall. I found proof why both of their bloodlines are so important. I'm going to explain all of these crazy theories in detail in my upcoming Crazy Theory video series, which I'll post every Saturday at 8 PM IST or 9:30 AM CST. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so you won't miss any of my new Crazy Theory videos. And if you like the crazy theories I discussed in this video, also hit the like button below and share the video. Have a great day. 7 blessings to you.